What's happening, guys? I haven't done a film ranking in a while. The last one I did was the Friday the 13th films. So this is going to be for the Hellraiser series. Now, the reason I'm doing this is, one, because I'm a big fan of the series and the character Pinhead, but also because Dead by Daylight are looking to do a Dead by Daylight Hellraiser chapter. So this is why I'm doing this video, in sort of preparation for that. It got my juices flying a little bit, and I wanted to rewatch all the Hellraiser films. So because of that, I'm doing this video. So check them out. We're going to go through them. We're going to start at number 10, work our way down to 1. And yeah, let me know in the comments whether you agree, disagree, where you would have put different films. And let's have a honest adult conversation about it. Coming in at number 10 is Hellraiser, Hellseeker. Okay, so kicking it off, number 10, Hellseeker. Now, they brought Kirsty back. I'm not sure why. It's just kind of annoying, actually, and she's pretty annoying at this stage in the game. She's okay in the first two, but this is the point where they should have not brought her back at all. But aside from that, the main character is actually not her. It's the actor Dean Winters, who you might know as the Vulture from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Now, I actually like this guy normally, and he's funny as fuck in the TV show, but Jesus, does he blow in this film. His confused face just makes me want to punch it in, and he's confused for the whole film. And he also seems to have women trying to shag him 24/7, and it's a bore fest, a complete and utter bore fest. Granted, this is early in his career, it's still an awful performance, and it's an awful movie. The twist of the film as well, right at the end, is a repeat of a twist from another Hellraiser that came before it, and it's stale and boring by this point. This really is the only one in the series that I actually completely despise. At number 9 is Hellraiser 2, Hellbound. Coming in at number 9 then is Hellraiser 2 Hellbound. Now, I'm going to get some hate for this, I know that. And I actually like the fact that you get a little bit of backstory for Bradley's character in this. But the whole hell that they're in throughout the whole film just looks so dated and low budget. And you spend nearly the whole film there. It's hard to believe in this film because of that. And I found it too distracting, and it stole away from what I think is probably actually a really good Hellraiser film. But it's just the background, the cosmetics, everything, the whole look. I couldn't overlook it. It looks so cheap. And unfortunately, I still love this movie, but it could have been so much better. Let's just give it a revamp. Keep Bradley in as Pinhead, and we could do this again. Can't we? In at 8 is Hellraiser Inferno. So number 8 is Inferno. Now, I actually like this film. I like most of these films, to be honest. But this whole film is a twist. There you go. That's the only spoiler I'm going to give you. Not that it spoils it at all, because I haven't told you what it is. But this is a similar plot to 2018 Judgment, which is somewhere else on this list. Now, the story follows a cop who is on the hunt for a serial killer called the Engineer. It's a solid film. Acting is a little all over the place, and we get a nice little feature from Dexter's dad, James Remar. The film delves deep into the psychology and the psychological horror that the Cenobites can inflict in their torturing aspects that they like to inflict upon people. And this actually creates a decent film because it's slightly different, that they're using the psychological aspect as well as the violence. This is a good spin on it, and it's in at number 8. At number 7, you've got Hellraiser Revelations. So number 7 is Revelations. Now, this had serious potential, but they ruined it. It starts off great, and I'm not normally a fan of handheld film footage types of movies, but this is only just for the first opening sort of 10 minutes. It's a terrific opening scene. You've got two boys on a land trip to Mexico, cut to the opening of the box in one of their apartments that they're staying in, and then somehow fucking Pinhead's in their living room. Now, this hooks you in perfectly. But then it drops off. The acting is actually terrible. The main guy / survivor is fucking annoying. Pinhead is played by some unknown twat called Stephen Smith Collins, who doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. That's how shit he is. He looks like a chubby cosplay version of Pinhead, and I can say that because I'm fat. And it's just awful. The ending is, okay, I guess. At least it ends the horror of the film. At number 6, you got Hellraiser Deader. Number 6 is Deader. This is another awesome concept. You're going to hear me say that a lot, because this list is full of awesome concept. Some of them hit the mark, and some of them don't. Now this film again starts off great, and the story idea is absolutely quality, but the film drops off a bit halfway through. It follows a reporter who's on the trail of a new cult called Deaders, who supposedly can cheat death with their cult leader, who brings them back to life. Okay, I'm with you so far. But then it turns out the cult leader is actually a Le Marchand descendant. These are the original guys that created the Lament configuration, which we'll get into in a little bit. Now, they don't actually really explain how he's able to bring people back from the dead, but I guess you just overlook this. And the main reason this is in the film is just to piss Pinhead off. And as you can guess, he obviously rocks up later in the movie to right these wrongs. Number 5, you've got Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. Okay, so number 5, we've got Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. Now this is just a batshit nuts movie, and I absolutely love it. Basically, it's just Pinhead gets set loose and goes on a fucking rampage this time. It's awesome shit. I actually liked that you had the whole Pinhead versus human Pinhead aspect in the film as well, which was cool to see. You saw Doug Bradley as a human before he becomes Pinhead, battling off against the Cenobite version of himself. And the fact that it's just Pinhead beats Pinhead was also fun as well, because that leaves it open to interpretation. But yeah, overall, this is a good Hellraiser film, especially the club scene where they fuck everybody up. I'm not so sure about the Cenobite that has the CDs that's able to cut people. It's kind of fun. It reminds me of Jason Takes Manhattan from Friday the 13th. But yeah, overall, it's a fun, enjoyable movie, and it's very true to Hellraiser form. Number 4, Hellraiser Bloodline. Number 4 is Bloodline. They've got to look past the cheesy acting and the dated filming style. This is actually a pretty damn solid film. Spanning 3 different timelines, you follow the creator of the Lament configuration. So the Le Marchand family. You follow 3 stages of that bloodline, hence the name of the film. Now, with this, it's actually a great idea for the story, and it's cool to follow this on through the generations along with Pinhead sort of in hot pursuit. Now, you've got a new character in this called Angelique, played by Valentina Vargas, and she is an absolute dream in this. She's very vampire-esque, and it's just a great performance. Obviously, Doug Bradley is also on form, as per usual. Now, this film's kind of weird when you think about it, and you watch it back, and then you think about it again, because the family's called Le Marchand, and it's actually the Le Marchand configuration, not Lament configuration, as it's referred to in every single film. But for some reason, this film expects you to ignore that completely. I don't really understand why we're not calling it the Le Marchand configuration. Is that because we have to say it like that? Otherwise it's Le Marchand. And they just went, Lament's easier. Let's just stick with Lament. No one will notice. Just a bit odd to me, but Lament configuration it is. But other than that, it's a solid entry at number 4. Number 3, Hellworld. Now I'm going to get some hate for this, but number 3 is Hellworld. So we've got a young Superman and a Lagertha from Vikings hanging out at a friend's funeral who died playing a game. This isn't Saw. Okay. It turns out the game is based on the Lament configuration and the mythos behind Hellraiser in general. Okay, this is an awesome concept. I'm in. I also like Henry Cavill and Catherine Winnick. This should be a win-win. Now, the acting is actually very average at best. They're probably the only 2 that acting is quite believable. The other 2 that are with them, you've got some British girl and some other guy, and I don't know, they're pretty bland and useless. But the story unfolds nicely. Now, not too many spoilers here, but it's not really a Hellraiser film, and that's probably why I'm going to get some hate for putting it in number 3. Yes, it's got Hellraiser in the title, and yes, it's based around the concept, but when you watch it, you'll realise at the end it's not really a Hellraiser film until the very end, but a great concept nonetheless. Now, it's number 3 more for the story than anything else. I really enjoyed the concept, as I'm saying with most of these films, and it was also a great performance by Alien's Bishop, Lance Henriksen. If we had a bit more background on the actual game they were playing, because they do leave that out, and a few more Pinhead scenes and Cenobite action, this could have been a really good film and probably would have featured higher in the list. But there we go. Number 3, Hellworld. Coming in at number 2, Hellraiser Judgment. Okay, so this pick at number 2 will likely cause a lot of commotion on the interwebs for this one. But it's judgment. Hear me out first. This is a great Hellraiser film for many reasons. It's filmed well for starters, and the cast in it are actually pretty solid. It is a little bit slow at times, and we don't have Bradley again for Pinhead, which could have bumped this up the contender list if I'm honest. But Paul T. Taylor actually does a really good fucking job. Now the twist in this film is actually quite unexpected, or it was for me anyway. Now this again, like one of the other entries, it follows a cop, but this time there's two of them and they're brothers, Carter and Carter. It's a little bit odd, but they're on the trail of another serial killer, this time called the Perceptor, who seems to be a copycat of Kevin Spacey from Seven, but maybe we won't get into that. I'm not here to judge. Anyway, apart from a few stiff pieces of dialogue and slow-paced acting, this film is actually a decent watch, and I believe it to be better than the others in this list. Hence the number 2 spot. I don't care. Fight me. I'll tear your soul apart. And number 1, of course, the only one left to go, is the original Hellraiser. I guess this one's kind of a no-brainer. At the number 1 spot, top in the list, better than the rest, it's the original. It's just Hellraiser. Obviously the 1987 original, based on the novella, The Hellbound Heart. As this is Clive Barker's baby, and it's got his name all over it, it's no wonder that it tops most ranking lists for this film franchise. I think the key to this being number 1 is not just because it's based on a great book and great writing, but also because of its simplicity. A lot of the other movies fail as they try to be more clever or scary than the original film and the original story, but they all fall short of that mark. And obviously Doug Bradley is at his finest in this movie, and the supporting cast are all fair performances. You get nice features from other Cenobites. You've got Frank, who's actually played by a different actor when he's Dead Frank, which is where he's at his best, but we're not going to get into that. But this is the number 1. It's Hellraiser. Now I'm excited for obviously Dead by Daylight. I'm excited for the new chapter. I'm excited to play as Pinhead. It looks really fun. And also you've got the new Hellraiser film that's meant to be coming out in 2022. God knows what that's going to be like, but judging by judgment, no pun intended, it should be quite a good thrill ride. So there we have it, guys. That's my top 10. Let me know in the comments what you think. And I'm going to wrap this bad boy up. So stay tuned for more videos. I'm going to do more breakdowns of more film franchises. Let me know what film franchises you'd like me to break down. I've watched pretty much everything that I can think of. So let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see next. And I'll rank them for you. And then we can argue about it, because you're probably going to disagree. And that's okay. See you in the next one. Peace.